I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Really, it started as a joke. Just me, sitting in my dim apartment on a Thursday night, staring at the blinking cursor in a half-filled dating site profile. I wasn't even serious about finding someone. Honestly, my track record with dating was laughable. 2 failed relationships, a string of awkward first dates, and one particularly bizarre evening with a woman who spent the entire time explaining why humans should marry artificial intelligence. So I typed something ridiculous into the looking for box. Seeking a goddess. Preferably intergalactic. Must like long walks, stargazing, and not annihilating entire civilizations before breakfast. I laughed to myself, hit post, and then promptly forgot about it. At least, until the universe decided to take me literally. 2 nights later, I was woken by a strange humming noise. At first I thought it was my refrigerator dying, but then the light filled my room. A silvery, swirling vortex cracked open in midair, spilling golden sparks across the floor. My phone levitated, screen blazing with the words, "Your request has been answered." Then she appeared. She stepped out of the light like some impossible daydream, tall, radiant, armored in something that shimmered like liquid starlight. Her eyes glowed a faint violet, her hair streamed like fire, and in her hand she carried a blade that hummed as if it were alive. Despite the terrifying regalia, she was cute. Not in a girl-next-door way, but in the way an apex predator kitten might be cute right before it tore you to shreds. "Human," she said, her voice echoing in layers, like an orchestra hidden behind her throat. "I have been summoned by your beacon. I am Zyra, warlord of the celestial legions, breaker of empires, goddess of eternal conflict. Who dares request my companionship?" I sat up in bed, hair sticking out in every direction. That would be me. Ethan. Hi. She tilted her head, eyes narrowing. "You are small." "Yeah, I get that a lot. And fragile." "Also true." She stared at me for an uncomfortably long moment. Then, to my utter shock, she smiled. "Perfect. Middle." The next few days were chaos. Zyra decided to move into my apartment without so much as asking. She dismissed my protests with a wave of her blade. "You summoned me," she declared. "Therefore, you are now my chosen consort." Consort. That sounded official. Possibly deadly. She ate through my entire pantry in a day, pronouncing Earth food quaint and underseasoned. She refused to sleep in my bed because, according to her, mortals require it more. Instead, she meditated while floating 3 feet off the ground, surrounded by a halo of rotating miniature suns. The neighbors complained about weird chanting noises at 3 a.m. Worse, she drew attention. A lot of attention. The first sign was the drones. Sleek, black, insectoid machines began circling my apartment building, their red eyes scanning the windows. When I pointed them out, Zyra sliced one clean in half with a casual flick of her blade. "Scouts," she explained. "The Tervari Dominion must have tracked me across the stars. They seek to reclaim what I destroyed." "Destroyed?" asked, voice cracking. He grinned. "An armada. 50 warships. A glorious battle." She twirled her sword as if remembering a fond childhood memory. "I left their flagship in flames and carved my name across their moon." Gulp. "Cool, cool, cool. Totally fine. Just, maybe don't do that to Earth." Her expression softened as she looked at me. "For you, Ethan, I will restrain myself." I should have felt relieved. Instead, I realized I was now responsible for keeping a literal galactic war goddess entertained enough not to blow up my planet. Naturally, she insisted I take her on dates. Our first outing was to a local cafe. Zyra wore a black leather jacket she claimed to have forged from the hide of a solar leviathan, though it looked suspiciously like something from a thrift store. Everyone stared as she ordered 12 muffins and devoured them with terrifying efficiency. When the barista asked if she wanted a rewards card, Zyra pressed her glowing hand to the poor woman's forehead and proclaimed, "You are now bound in loyalty to my cause." We were asked not to return. Our second date went slightly better. I took her to the planetarium. She sat transfixed under the artificial night sky, eyes wide. "Your species attempts to capture the stars in a dome. Adorable." When the presentation showed a simulation of a supernova, she whispered, "I once danced in the heart of such an explosion." It sang to me. I couldn't help but laugh. She looked at me with mock outrage. "You doubt me?" "No," I said honestly. "I think you're incredible." Her cheeks, was it possible for a galactic war goddess to blush, seemed to glow a little warmer. Course peace never lasted. By the third week, entire sections of the night sky were flickering. Zyra explained almost casually that rival deities had noticed her presence on Earth. "They do not approve of me lowering myself to consort with a mortal," she said. "They will come. Come here." I squeaked. "Yes. Challenge me. To eradicate this world, perhaps. You should prepare." "Prepare how? I don't even own a baseball bat, let alone whatever it takes to fight a god." She chuckled and placed her hand on my chest. "Do not fear, Ethan. Stay by my side and you will survive." That was comforting, except it also meant my apartment had become ground zero for intergalactic divine warfare. The first challenger arrived on a rainy Tuesday. He appeared as a storm-made flesh, a giant cloaked in thunderclouds, wielding a trident of lightning. My building's roof collapsed under his weight. Before I could panic, Zyra was already in the sky, blade flashing, laughter echoing as she clashed with him in a shower of sparks. They fought across the city skyline, leaving trails of destruction. Windows shattered, car alarms blared, and people screamed in terror. Just when I thought we were doomed, Zyra hurled him into orbit with a triumphant roar. The storm dissipated. The sky cleared. She landed lightly beside me, hair still blazing. "Victory," she said, grinning. "Great," I croaked. "Except now the city thinks aliens are invading." "Let them," she shrugged. "They will sing of this day." Climax. The final straw came a month later. I woke to find half the sky on fire. An entire fleet of crystalline warships hovered above Earth, blocking out the stars. Zyra looked almost giddy. "The Tervari have brought reinforcements," she said, flexing her fingers around her sword hilt. "This planet is doomed if you fight them here." He yelled. "Billions of people will die." She paused, frowning. For the first time, doubt flickered in her eyes. She looked away. "I have never cared for mortal lives. They burn, they vanish, and the war goes on. But you, Ethan, you make me question." Sirens wailed outside. Fighter jets streaked through the sky, utterly outmatched by the alien fleet. My heart hammered in my chest. "Then fight for me," I said. "Not for glory, not for conquest. Fight to protect." Her violet eyes widened. Slowly she nodded. "For you I will try." What happened next was indescribable. Zyra rose into the sky, blazing like a newborn sun. She summoned her armies, shadows of celestial warriors who materialized from starlight itself. The Tervari fleet opened fire, and the heavens became a battlefield. Explosions lit the night, shockwaves rattled buildings, and for hours Earth trembled on the brink of annihilation.